In the harsh, unforgiving landscape of Kalmykia, a tiny mother dog and her 3 puppies were left to die in the cold. But one dedicated rescuer, Ninel, stepped in and was determined to give them a chance. Could this family's story end in hope? Watch today's story on Pets in Love to find out. It all began in Kalmykia, a place in Russia where the cruelty towards stray animals is heartbreakingly common. In a land where dogs are often poisoned, shot, or abandoned, there are only a few who dare to speak up and fight for them. But against the backdrop of despair, there's always room for compassion, for kindness, and for a second chance. In this bleak place, a tiny mother dog, no larger than a cat, was discovered with her 3 puppies. She weighed only 7 kilograms, too weak to raise 3 pups. They were dumped on the outskirts of the city, thrown into a cold, desolate area where survival seemed impossible. The temperatures plummeted below freezing at night, and there was no food to be found. The puppies, tiny and helpless, were only weeks old, and the chances of them making it through the night were slim. But something incredible happened. Despite the overwhelming pain and despair, the little family was discovered by someone who couldn't just look away. The heartbreaking reality of their situation couldn't be ignored, and the race to save them began. Ninel, a rescuer who has saved over 500 animals in her lifetime, came into their story. Ninel has always been a beacon of hope for animals in need. Her heart, full of empathy and love for the creatures that many others overlook, has driven her to dedicate her life to saving those who would otherwise be left to suffer. That was the day when Ninel was out on one of her usual rescue missions. She had been following a trail, hoping to spot an animal in need, as she often does. That day, she noticed a dog, a mother dog, appearing along the trail, looking like she was searching for something, probably food. Ninel had seen this before, a stray, struggling to survive in a harsh environment. But this dog wasn't alone. Trailing closely behind her were 3 fragile puppies, each one looking weak and fragile, barely able to keep up with their mother. This was a tough area to be in, especially at night, when the temperature drops and the cold can be unbearable. Not many animals could survive here, and it was hard to imagine how they had made it through the past few days. Ninel couldn't help but wonder, where did they come from? Were they abandoned? She didn't have answers, but she knew one thing: she had to help them. As Ninel cautiously approached the little family, she was amazed at how obedient they were, especially the puppies. They seemed to trust their mother, sticking close to her and following her lead. The mother, though wary and scared, allowed Ninel to come near. She even let her gently touch the puppies, which was a sign that they had some trust in humans. But when Ninel tried to separate them for even a second, the mother became anxious and scared, looking around nervously until they were reunited. It was clear that her primary concern was her babies. Ninel knew this was not going to be easy, but she was determined. Over the next 3 hours, she slowly and carefully coaxed the family to safety. She could tell the pups were exhausted and starving, but she also knew she couldn't rush them. After a long trek, they finally arrived at Ninel's home. When they stepped inside, the puppies were confused at first. The soft carpet was so different from the hard ground they had known. They sniffed around in wonder, clearly amazed at the warmth and comfort they found. Ninel left them together in the quiet corner of the room, giving the mother dog, Zlata, a chance to relax and feel at ease with her pups once again. Ninel quickly noticed just how hungry and thirsty the little family was. They ate a large bowl of food in a hurry, and Ninel had to divide the portions into smaller meals to make sure they didn't overeat. They were ravenous, and Ninel could see that they hadn't had a decent meal in a long time. Zlata's puppies were all unique, each one with their own personality. The first puppy, a girl, was a bit shy and reserved, not yet trusting of the new surroundings. The second girl was the complete opposite. She was full of energy, curious, and didn't hesitate to approach Ninel. The little boy was just as shy as the first girl, looking at everything with wide, uncertain eyes. The pups were all in a state of exhaustion, but as they ate and began to feel better, their personalities started to shine through. They didn't look alike at all, but they were clearly a close-knit little family. Ninel took care of them, giving them a warm bath after they had eaten. She knew how much they would appreciate the warm water after all they'd been through. Once cleaned up, Ninel made sure they were dewormed and vaccinated, steps that were essential to their health. As the days went by, the puppies began to flourish, their personalities becoming more and more apparent. The atmosphere in Ninel's home changed as well. There was more noise, laughter, and a growing sense of warmth and love. She and her family spent hours on the floor with the puppies, patiently letting them approach at their own pace. The warmth of the house, the gentle voices of Ninel's family, and the softness of the blankets worked wonders. Zlata, her puppies, and Ninel's family began to form a bond that grew stronger each day. The puppies, especially the energetic girl, started to show more affection toward Ninel's family. They would climb into her lap, curling up and falling asleep in her arms, their trust building with each passing day. Zlata, seeing that her babies were safe and loved, started to relax. Her trust in Ninel deepened as she nuzzled Ninel's hand whenever she sat down, showing her appreciation with soft, gentle gestures. Zlata, who had always been so protective of her puppies, now realized she didn't need to worry anymore. Her babies were safe, and so was she. Laughter and joy filled the house as the puppies grew more confident, exploring every corner of their new home. Zlata kept a watchful eye on them, but also began to enjoy the comfort and warmth of her new life. She would stretch out in the sunbeam, streaming through the window, sighing contentedly. It was as if she could finally relax and enjoy life, something she hadn't been able to do for so long. Days went by. The transformation in Zlata and her puppies was undeniable. The once frightened, malnourished dogs who had been living in fear and uncertainty were now playful, confident, and healthy. They began to trust people again, and the bond between Ninel, her family, and the dogs grew stronger with each day. It was clear that Ninel's care, patience, and love had made all the difference. And just 2 weeks later, the first puppy, a shy little girl, was adopted by a kind woman. At first, the puppy was trembling with fear, but the woman's love and patience helped her feel safe, and soon enough, the little girl began to trust her new family. She was showered with affection and even had new clothes to wear. As the puppy grew more confident, her personality blossomed, and she became a joyful, brave little dog, no longer scared of the world. The second puppy, the active girl, was adopted soon after. She met her new family, and it was clear that she had found a special bond with an older dog in the household. At first, she was nervous, wanting to run away, but the older dog took an immediate interest in her. This bond grew stronger every day, and the older dog became her protector, keeping her safe and loved. They would grow up together, and the little puppy would never feel alone again. The last puppy, the little boy, was the most confident of them all. He had no problem adjusting to his new home. He played energetically with his new family, fitting in perfectly and quickly, finding a little companion to grow up with. His new life was full of love and adventure. But Ninel didn't forget about Zlata, the mother dog. She had been through so much, raising her 3 pups while malnourished and worn down. It was clear that Zlata had once been a domestic dog, someone's pet, and had simply been abandoned. She had shown incredible strength and dedication to her puppies, and now it was time for Zlata to find her own peace. Zlata was dewormed and vaccinated, just like her puppies, and Ninel made sure she was ready for her new chapter. A kind couple reached out to adopt her, and they quickly fell in love with her. Zlata adapted to her new life effortlessly. She was gentle and calm, quickly fitting into her new home and adjusting to their house rules. The past, the hardships, and the struggles, all of it faded away as Zlata embraced her new life. The puppies, too, grew up healthy and happy in their new homes. Ninel still gets updates from their families, knowing that they are well cared for and loved. The fear, hunger, and cold were things of the past, and each of them was now thriving. Looking back, I know that every story has its own twists and turns. Being abandoned was a sad part of their journey, but it opened doors to new opportunities. Zlata and her puppies all found families who truly deserve them, and Ninel is proud of the role she played in making that happen. So, if you're ever feeling down or facing a difficult time, remember this story. There's always a brighter tomorrow on the horizon, and sometimes, the most challenging experiences lead to the happiest of endings. Ninel's work continues, and every day she rescues more animals in need. Through her efforts, over 500 animals have found their forever homes, just like Zlata and her puppies. That's the end of the story today. What are your thoughts on Zlata and her puppy's journey? Have you ever had an experience with rescuing or adopting an animal? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, Pets in Love, for more incredible rescue stories that highlight the power of kindness and the life-changing impact of a second chance. Thank you for joining us today. See you in the next video.